Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is definitely not for everyone because still a lot of people don't believe things of this nature, which I'm going to present to you today. As you can see in the title of this video, because I'm not sure how I will title it, it's about summoning demons and opening the portals. Could those AI centers that are definitely not about winning the race with China, but about controlling people. The word I always have a trouble pronouncing, surveillance. Apologies for my English. They are not just about that. It looks like there is another reason that could be probably one of the most important reasons, because those are also the energy centers. There is a certain sound with a certain frequency that is very disturbing. A lot of people already report on that. Those who live in the areas where the AI centers are already built, they are complaining on that noise. It affects the birds, the humans, and anything that is living and vibrating on a different frequency. Anyway, I would like to show you first the video that has been recorded about 11 years ago. And this is an interview with Elon Musk. You might be thinking this is too much tinfoil hat conspiracy, but the second video will present to you a different point, and perhaps you will look into it that the demons that we are all witnessing, because they are, even though they look as human, they are just wearing the human suit, the flesh of a human, but inside it's something else. So let's start with this few words from Elon Musk. Like I said, about 11 years ago, during the interview.
And a warning from Tesla Motors CEO Elon Musk. It has nothing to do with cars. Instead, Musk warns about artificial intelligence, which he has called more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Musk spoke at a symposium at MIT.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon? Didn't work out.
I take it there will be no HAL 9000 going up to Mars.
HAL 9000 would be easy. It's way more complex than, it would put HAL 9000 to shame. Yeah. I like puppy dog.
Of course, referencing Space Odyssey. Following his next question, Musk blanked out and apologized, saying he was thinking about the AI thing for a second. So engrossed was he in that idea.
Okay, so maybe out of the context and maybe just joking, but I don't think so. So let's take a look and listen at this very interesting video that I came across this morning that inspired me to come and record my video, because something is just not right with those AI centers, especially as far as the sound goes. So let's take a listen, guys.
The elite and the government are opening up portals. They're summoning demons, all with AI data centers. And I'm going to show you how they're doing it. All right, so remember back in 2014 when Elon Musk said this?
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon?
I have exorcised the demons.
All right, and we can't forget about Gordy Rose, the creator of D-Wave, quantum computers, and Kindred.
And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons.
We're not demons.
They're not evil. but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want.
And if they're not opening up portals, and if they're not summoning demons, then why do some of the biggest tech giants in the world keep stating this? You know, last week we had an ex-employee of OpenAI tell the New Yorker that they're definitely opening up portals and summoning demons in Saudi Arabia. Why? And the craziest part is about all of this is that if you look at where the AI data centers are, they're located in areas that have high ET traffic. So why else are they doing that, you know? And if you don't know who Gordy Rose is, I highly, highly suggest doing a Google search on him, on his company, D-Wave, Kindred, see what they've been up to. You know, this is all information I shared with my community over a decade ago. So it's good to see that more and more people are becoming aware of all of these technologies and what they've really been up to in the shadows. Now, this clip right here,
it feels like an altar to an alien god.
Company D-Wave and his quantum computers have been able to tap into parallel universes.
Like 2 to the 500th power of these guys living in that chip.
Number of parallel universes. They've been able to tap into these parallel universes and basically steal resources from these, creating like a black hole, if you will, or a wormhole.
From the outside, they look like giant black monoliths, big metal boxes, about 10 feet on a side, 12 feet tall. And they are powered, they have a fridge inside them, a refrigerator that cools these chips to almost absolute zero. Just a wisp, a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. Hundreds of times colder than interstellar space. Amongst the coldest and most isolated and extreme conditions that humans have ever been able to engineer. These fridges, interestingly enough, which are called pulse tube dilution refrigerators, have a thing called a pulse tube, which emits a sound roughly once per second, which sounds eerily like a heartbeat. So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god.
It feels like an altar to an alien god.
They really are impressive machines. At the heart of this big box is a tiny chip about the size of your thumbnail. And on this chip, there really are parallel universes out there. And now imagine you have two that are exactly identical in every respect, all the way out to the horizon as far as we can see, down to the last little atomic detail of every single thing, with only one difference. And that's the value of a little thing called a qubit on this chip, which is a contraction of quantum bit. And that qubit is very much like a bit or a transistor in a conventional computer. It has two distinct physical states, which we call 0 and 1 for bit. In a conventional computer, these are mutually exclusive. That device is either one or the other and never anything else. In a quantum computer, that device can be in this strange situation where these two parallel universes have a nexus, a point in space where they overlap. And when you increase the number of these devices, every time you add one of these qubits, you double the number of these parallel universes that you have access to, until such time when you get to a chip like this, which is about 500 of these bits, you have something like 2 to the 500th power of these guys living in that chip.
Now, the crazy part is how CERN comes into all this and how the Mandela effect also plays into all this stuff. Now, as you just saw from that video with Gordy Rose talking about, you know, almost an infinite number of parallel universes, you know, that goes into the fact of timeline shifting, the Mandela effect, how, you know, certain things that we remember from our childhood are one way, and now when you look them up, or if you ask people, they're a totally different way. So lots of things to think about. I'll drop a part 2 if I got a lot of traction on this video. So like, share, comment, and let me know what you think.
So the black cube, everyone, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of significance of that black cube. Just a quick reminder in the chapel, because there is a chapel in the United Nations building, the headquarters in New York City. If you go there, you can see right at the end of that chapel a black cube. That's right, because that is their altar. So what is this Mandela effect like? What is this CERN company really about? What their logo is about? Do we understand the logo? And do we understand how they can manipulate the energy field and shift the timelines? I'm aware that a lot of people who are watching me right now think that this is going too far and this is absolutely conspiracy and there is no sense. It's just, well, I think sometimes ignorance is a bliss. And a lot of times I wonder if I wouldn't know things that I do now, and I know just a fraction of it, and it's already overwhelming. I would probably be much happier. So if you are happy, congratulations, because the more you come across, the more informations you come across, the more knowledge you gain, the more you realize that the kingdom is truly within you, because this world is absolutely crazy. Here is a video. You're gonna hear about the company CERN. Two guys will be discussing it, analyzing it in a very light way conversation. So it's not going to be draining or boring, more entertaining. There is a lot of information provided, so let's take a listen. I will not play the entire video, but big part of it. So we learn a little bit more, because this is all connected.
Do you think you remember something one way, but now it's not that way at all? Perhaps you've seen a movie or a logo, and now that movie just doesn't exist anymore, or the logo has been changed. Confused? You're not alone.
So everyone's talking about the situation called the Mandela effect. Today you'll hear who and what insanity is behind the Mandela effect and why.
For those of you who don't know what the Mandela effect is, what rock have you been living under? The Mandela effect is a phenomenon where things are seemingly undoubtedly one way and large groups of people remember it that way, but now it's changed. So before getting into this conspiracy theory, what are the most common ideas about what is causing the Mandela effect? Some people think humans are stupid and they made all of this up. Some people think it's converging timelines. Some people think humans built a time machine and someone's screwing with our timeline. And some people think a black hole, yeah, dude, a black hole is causing all this trouble. And some think it's something far more nefarious. Yeah, I just said the word nefarious. Unfortunately for us, you can't talk about the Mandela effect without talking about some heavy science here. So what is actually causing this?
I mean, the organization reportedly at the very center of the Mandela effect is CERN.
Wait, CERN? Like, you're talking about the organization responsible for the Large Hadron Collider? You mean the organization that basically rams particles together at like lightning fast speeds to track the results?
So this is taken directly from CERN's website. Another way of revealing extra dimensions would be through the production of microscopic black holes. What exactly we would detect would depend on the number of extra dimensions, the mass of the black hole, the size of the dimensions, and the energy at which the black hole occurs. If micro black holes do appear in the collisions created by the LHC, they would disintegrate rapidly. They would decay into standard model or supersymmetric particles, creating events. So this is like really, really vague, right?
But wait, but they just said creating events, right? This is kind of weird, but it reminds me of that movie, Event Horizon. By definition, though, an event horizon is a black hole, right?
In layman's terms, it is the point of no return, where the gravitational pull becomes so great as to make escape impossible, even for light. And this would include anything and everything, even time.
Okay, so why would anyone study this on Earth?
This is the big question.
Wouldn't you be worried that creating a little black hole, it might just keep eating everything until it destroys the everything?
So this is exactly what I want to know, and most of the scientists out there also want to know, including Stephen Hawking. And he has been asking the same question. He even said the God particle found by CERN could destroy the universe. I mean, this is Stephen Hawking saying this, right? They're like doing this on Earth. What effects could this possibly have? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, and that particle is also known as the Higgs boson. They call it the God particle because they think it is like the original matter. Sum it up, I'm thinking antimatter, or like black hole.
Exactly. What is really antimatter?
Well, and funnier than that, if you go to where CERN is on Google Maps, it says antimatter factory.
This is crazy.
So 1 milligram of antimatter is equivalent to 1,000 atomic bombs.
Yeah.
And so I heard that 1 grain of rice-size antimatter is equivalent to 30,000 Hiroshima bombs.
If you had this stuff the size of like a baseball, dude, I mean, this thing could potentially wipe out half the solar system. What the hell are they doing on Earth? You know, it's like, that's the crazy thing.
The best part is Ben yesterday was telling me, he's like, dude, they're trying to move antimatter in a van.
That's
substance.
There's the article right here.
Yeah.
Got it. Some conspiracies say that CERN's whole purpose was to open a portal to another dimension. From CERN's point of view, they're trying to understand our universe and the Big Bang and everything else and what created life, basically, right?
Right.
But some say they're actually opening a portal to hell.
Okay, so this just got kind of a little weird, and for scientifically minded people, they're probably like, who are these two knuckleheads? How do we know that's actually true? Like, what's selling us on this?
So CERN's mascot is a Hindu goddess called Shiva, who is also the goddess of destruction. There's a big fat statue of her right outside of their office. I mean, come on, destruction?
So
this is crazy.
So along with that, CERN's logo is causing many groups to throw their hands in the air, and not the type that's waving them like they just don't care. When I looked at this logo, I'm a brand manager, CERN's logo looks mysteriously like 666, and 666 specifically in chaos. I couldn't find who the original maker of the logo was, but there is a website, it looks like it's dedicated to science, called Two Mosquitoes, and the way that they explained the logo was that they tried to model it actually after one of the accelerators. The thing is if you look at that accelerator, they were worried about making it look exactly like the accelerator because that would make it look like a black hole too much, and they thought that that would be not good. Whoa. But would you rather have it look like a black hole or 666?
Okay, so I'll try to explain the theory on how the timelines are being disrupted by all of this. So even Stephen Hawking said that this could cause space and time to collapse, which is actually what we could be seeing with the Mandela effect. Collapsing timelines and other parallel dimensions, which is why some people remember the old timeline and some people have the memory of the new timeline. There's a Harvard University theorist named Lisa Randall who actually talks about other dimensions that may exist close to our own familiar reality.
Can you speak English? Because I'm a designer, not an astrophysicist. What the heck does that even mean, dude?
Okay. So in a nutshell, she is saying that in another space-time, there exists right here, right now, another dimension, but we just can't see it. When there is a shift in gravity, it's a possibility that a rift in our time-space would open up and you would be able to see into a different time-space.
Right.
So this is exactly what CERN is trying to do. They're trying to create rifts in time-space to send particles from this dimension into another dimension and vice versa, which could cause crazy repercussions in our own timeline. Well, I think this is the cause of the Mandela effect, and I think the Mona Lisa is a really good example of how things could be affected. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Mona Lisa?
Yeah, so this will be in our other episode too, but the Mona Lisa, basically growing up, I mean, I was fascinated just like everyone else. I was a painter, I went to art school for illustration. There was such a huge discussion in the past over whether she's smiling or not. And so people would go to look at the Mona Lisa for hours until they could finally see her smiling. But now, when you go and you look at the Mona Lisa, there's nothing to debate anymore. That debate has totally been wiped off the face of the planet. No one's talking about what she's doing. They're still fascinated with the painting, but that discussion on that smirk or that smile or that neutral look that she had is no longer a thing.
Yeah, she's
smiling.
She's just smiling.
Yeah, and this is really weird because that was such a huge discussion when I was young. And it's like almost over time, all of a sudden it just like, whoop, switched and she's smiling now.
Okay, I will attach the full length, the link to the full length video in the description box. So they mentioned Stephen Hawking a few times. You know who? That scientist who was disabled and who used to hang out a lot with Jeffrey Epstein. What do you think, guys? What's really going on? This is some really crazy stuff. And I believe it. I believe that's what they are doing. They are trying to summon demons. Now the question is, who from us will remain not affected by any of it? What a crazy time we are living in, huh? Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. I'm sure a lot of you are surprised that I am bringing such a topic, but you know what? I think all those events that we are witnessing on the surface as far as geopolitical events are just barely, a distraction. What's really going on is something on much deeper level like this, which a lot of people will probably ignore, or if they come across it, they don't even open up their minds to consider it to be true. Because demons run this world, it looks like. And as if it's not enough, they want to invite more low-frequency energies. That's why we have the wars intensify, the killing intensify, more sacrificing children, people becoming numb to things that normally would absolutely make them aggravated, furious, and react. Now they are just, whatever. That's all for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it helps with the channel a lot. Leave the comments. If you choose to support my work, the best way is to do it on Patreon or Locals or donate on PayPal. By the way, thank you, Fred, for your donation on PayPal. I very much appreciate it. And that's all. Lots of love. Remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. Aren't we? And I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.